So this is going to be a moving abroad video. So if you're interested in moving abroad or have questions about the realities of it from like an intersectional nuance perspective, definitely stick around. Also, by the time that this is out, my co-founded platform called Black Babes Abroad will be live. The link will be in the description, and there will be a checklist that you can download totally free that will help you prepare for everything from like, I don't know if I want to move abroad, all the way to buying your ticket. So go to the description, the information will be there, but I do want to talk about some questions that other people have been asking, but I want to put a more nuanced perspective on it. Also, hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Shayna. I'm a journalist and I'm currently living in Thailand. I've lived in 3 other countries outside of the United States too, got through visa processes and all of that. And on this platform, I talk a lot about decentering men and child-free living through an intersectional lens. Oh my God, what is going on with my mouth? Anyway, if any of that sounds like a vibe, please like, share, and subscribe. And now let's dive into the purpose of this video. So I came across this post a while ago, saved it, forgot about it, and now here I am bringing it back. So this post by TCK Global says, lived in more than one culture, these 6 questions won't let you sleep tonight. I would like to demystify some of this because, so it seems like this platform is more for like people that are either children of immigrants or people that were born into more than one culture, where like both of your parents are from different spaces, and maybe you were born in a space outside of where either of your parents are from. So for example, my parents are from 2 different islands on the Caribbean, and then I was born in the United States. So more than one culture was at play here, right? But I think that these are questions that other people are asking themselves, but I don't know if they're asking themselves with the grace and nuance that is needed to actually get the answers that you need. So this is no shade to this creator, to this platform. I'm just going to be adding some more context to these. So number 1, do I miss the place, the people, or the version of me that lived there? So that could be for the place that you are moving to or the place where you are moving from. So generally when people ask me this question, when it comes to places that I've moved to or places that I'm considering moving to, there is an underlying second question in here where it's, Shayna, when it comes to anti-Blackness, how is it so immense, so unbearable, so scary? Is it like, how present is it for you to want to go to this place? Like, is the place scary? Is it the people scary? Or like, even in spite of this, did you like the version of you that lived there? And to that, I will respond with some notes from the handy dandy. Anti-Blackness is everywhere. So it's okay if you miss some people a lot, but not enough to stay. And I say this as somebody that is from the United States and has experienced all the wonders of United States racism. Yes, it is very different than how anti-Blackness looks in other places. So while I love my friends, I love my family, I love my community in the United States, the place, the people, and the version of me that existed there, I didn't feel like it was enough of a reason to justify staying there, because just because you became stronger, because you survived more, doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay in that place. I feel like there's we gotta power through, there's that kind of mentality that I feel like a lot of people, especially Black people, have, and especially people whose parents immigrated to the United States, where it's like, oh, we worked so hard to get here. What are you gonna do? Like, what, we made so many sacrifices for you to live a better life in the United States, and now you're just gonna leave that behind? Just because somebody else persevered and struggled and worked hard, and you had to struggle in that way, like to try and meet their expectations, doesn't mean that you have to stay in that situation. 2, if I change my accent depending on who I'm talking to, what's my real voice? Now, fair, this is an absolutely fair question, but as a Black person, let's just read from the handy dandy, we will code switch almost everywhere, oftentimes for safety. That includes inside and outside of the United States. And that's okay. Don't judge yourself for being safe, physically and emotionally. Now, obviously, it is very important to find community where you could be your full authentic self with them. And sometimes that you can find that in the country that you were born in, sometimes you find that outside, sometimes you find it in multiple spaces. So being able to find that community is what I think is the most important thing, and also being able to recognize what your own voice sounds like, but don't necessarily judge yourself for having to switch up the way that you speak depending on where you are, because there's more nuance to that depending on your situation. Next question, number 3. Do I keep moving because I want to or because I do not know how to stay? Personally, I think that for these to be the only two options comes from a relatively privileged mindset. Like, there's so many more reasons why people move than just because I want to or I don't know how to stay here. I personally, as a Black woman who's a journalist who was living in the United States, I moved for my safety. And my safety, like, it was a little bit more like front and center because, yes, I'm from a marginalized community and I talk a lot about the politics of food, beverage, and travel in my job. But there's a bunch of other people that are trying to find safety for numerous reasons, whether you're queer, trans, you're a marginalized person, you're disabled, you're like, there's a whole bunch of people that move from one place to another. And even outside of that, people immigrate not just because they want to or they don't know how to stay in a place. And being 100% honest, a big reason why I left the United States was because it never felt like home. And I wanted to exist somewhere that felt like home to me. And I knew people, and I know people that experience that in the countries that they were born in, the states that they were born in, the cities that they were born in. And I hear the way that they talk and the way that they navigate. And I'm like, that looks and sounds and exists like a person who has home. And I wanted to experience what that is like, on top of just trying to stay alive. I also have an award-nominated article that I will be tagging below about the nuances of safety as a Black journalist within the space that I am in, and why some people might decide to move or to relocate or to find. Just read the article. Just read the article. Next, if I had stayed in one place, who would I have become? A fair question. But guess what? Some places make you better, make you brighter, make you more adventurous, and some places make you harder, make you sadder, make you more isolated. And that's going to vary from person to person and experience to experience. I also have a different article that I will also link below, which I wrote for Essence, that talks about my experience and other Black women's experiences pivoting their plans as it relates to moving abroad. Whether that's because the person that they became in one spot wasn't quite who they wanted to become somewhere else, but the space that they were in didn't allow for that, or whether it's new opportunities, or whether it's like, there's a bunch of reasons why people move. And some of that is because who you become in a space, and whether you like it or whether you're like, I think that my environment is holding me back. Next question, what culture do I pass on if I have kids one day? I won't. I'm very joyfully child-free, so this is not my question to really grapple with. But also, I know so many people, including in the United States, where their parents' culture was passed on to them and they existed in the culture of the space. Like, I think that this is a much simpler response, as long as you don't forget and completely assimilate to whatever culture you're entering into if you have children. Last, and this is a big one, can you be homesick for a place that doesn't exist in the way it used to anymore? This happens for colonized people all the time. This happens to both of my parents. One is from Jamaica, one is from Haiti. Neither island exists in the way that it did when my parents were children. The neighborhoods that they lived in no longer exist. The stores that they lived in no longer exist. The fruit trees that they ate from no longer exist. Yes, it is okay to be homesick for a place that only exists truly in memory. That is okay, and it is okay to mourn for that. This is a thing that colonized people have been dealing with for generations. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to stay if you don't want to. But these are my thoughts. Please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section, and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.